My name is Josh. I had never gone hiking before in my life. Not once. I was always the guy who stayed inside, played video games, and watched YouTube videos about adventure. But one sunny morning, I decided it was time. I wanted to do it alone. No friends, no group, just me in the forest. I thought it would be peaceful. I thought it would be fun. I packed a small backpack with water, some snacks, a flashlight, and my phone. I wore old sneakers and a t-shirt. The trail started easy. It was a path near the hills, not too far from the main road. Trees stood tall on both sides. Birds sang. The air smelled fresh, like pine and wet earth. I felt excited. My heart beat a little faster, but in a good way. This is it, I said to myself. My first hike. I'm really doing this. I walked for about an hour. The path got narrower. Bushes scratched my legs. My legs started to ache, but I kept going. I wanted to see what was deeper in the woods. That's when I saw the first piece of cloth. It was a red shirt tied to a low branch. It looked old and dirty. I stopped and stared. Weird, I thought. Maybe someone left it as a marker. I laughed a little. Hikers do that sometimes, right? To remember their way back. I kept walking. Then I saw another one. A blue jacket tied higher up. Then pants. Then a scarf. More and more clothes appeared, tied to trees like flags. They were everywhere now. Some were torn. Some had dark stains. The forest felt quieter. The birds stopped singing. My stomach started to feel funny. Why so many clothes? It didn't make sense. But I was curious. I kept moving forward, slower now. My feet made soft sounds on the dry leaves. After a while, the trees opened up a bit. I saw a dark hole in the side of a hill. A cave. Smoke was coming out of it, thin and gray. And then I smelled it. Food. Something cooking. It smelled like meat soup, warm and thick. My mouth watered a little. Someone else is hiking here, I thought. Maybe a family or a group having lunch. I'm not alone after all. That made me feel better. I smiled and walked closer. I didn't want to scare them, so I moved quietly. I tiptoed toward the cave entrance. The smell got stronger. My heart was beating fast, but I told myself it was okay. I peeked inside. The cave was bigger than it looked from outside. A small fire burned in the middle. A big black pot sat over the flames. Something was boiling inside. And right there, floating in the soup, was a human hand. I froze. My whole body went cold. The hand had fingers. Skin. Nails. It was a real human hand, turning slowly in the hot water. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. My eyes stayed locked on it. Then I saw him. A tall old man stood next to a flat rock. He was skinny, with long gray hair and a dirty beard. He wore rags. In his hands was a big knife. On the rock lay another human arm. He was chopping it. Chop. Chop. The sound was wet and heavy. Blood dripped onto the ground. He hummed a little song to himself, like he was making dinner at home. His eyes were red and glassy. He looked high, really high, like he didn't know what day it was. That's why he didn't see me. He was in his own world. I felt sick. My legs shook. This wasn't a hiker. This wasn't a cookout. This was something evil. The clothes tied in the trees, they weren't markers. They were traps. They were there to catch people like me. Lonely hikers. First-timers. People who didn't know better. I took one tiny step back. A small rock moved under my shoe. It made a tiny sound. The old man didn't look up. He just kept chopping. I stepped back again. Then again. My breathing was loud in my ears. I turned slowly and started to run. I ran like I had never run before. Branches slapped my face. My backpack bounced on my back. I didn't care about the path. I just ran toward the road. The clothes in the trees seemed to watch me now. They waved in the wind like ghosts. I tripped once and fell hard. My knee hurt, but I got up and kept running. I could still smell that soup in my nose. I could still see that hand in the pot. After what felt like forever, I saw the road. The trees ended. Asphalt appeared. I almost cried with relief. I slowed down, breathing hard. That's when I saw something on the ground. A wooden board, half buried in dirt. It looked like it had fallen over. I stopped. I picked it up. My hands were shaking. I brushed the dirt away and read the words painted in big, faded letters. Highly unrestricted area. Wait, unrestricted? That didn't make sense. My brain was spinning. Then I looked closer. Under the big letters, smaller words were scratched in. Stay out. Danger. No one comes back. I dropped the board like it burned me. My legs felt weak. I looked back at the forest. The trees stood quiet now. No birds. No wind. Just dark shadows between them. I realized the sign had been knocked down, probably by wind or animals. People who saw it would think it was safe because it said, unrestricted. But it was the opposite. It was a trap. A deadly trap. I walked to the main road, hitchhiked to the nearest town, and never looked back. I didn't tell the police right away. I was too scared. But later I did. They said they knew about strange things in those hills, but no one had proof. The old man was never found. The cave was empty when they checked. That night, in my small hotel room, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the hand in the soup. I saw the old man's knife going up and down. I saw those clothes waving in the trees like warning flags I ignored. If you ever think about hiking alone for the first time, please listen to me. Start with a group. Stay on marked trails. If you see clothes tied to trees, turn around. If you smell food in the middle of nowhere, run. And if you see a sign on the ground, read it twice. My name is Josh. I wanted one simple adventure. Instead, I got the scariest day of my life. I still hike sometimes now, but never alone. And I always check for signs. Real ones. The kind that actually keeps you safe. I love hiking. Every year, I go at least twice. It makes me feel free and strong. Most times, my girlfriend comes with me. We laugh, hold hands, and enjoy the fresh air together. But this time, she could not come. She had her final semester exams at college. She felt bad about it, but I told her it was okay. I said, "Don't worry. I will be careful and come back soon." So, I packed my bag with water, snacks, and my hiking shoes and left alone. The trail was beautiful that day. Tall trees stood on both sides. Birds sang loudly. The sun shone through the leaves, making everything look green and bright. I started walking up the hill. My legs felt good. I breathed in the clean mountain air. After an hour, I saw a man sitting on a rock near the path. He looked friendly. He smiled and waved at me. "Hey there," he said in a polite voice. "Mind if I join you? This is my first time hiking here, and I need a companion. I don't want to get lost alone." I thought for a second. Hiking with someone new sounded okay. I was alone anyway. "Sure," I replied. "Let's go together." We started walking side by side. He talked nicely at first. He asked about my life and where I was from. But something felt a little strange. He said it was his first hike, but he walked like a pro. He knew every turn on the path. He stepped over rocks easily, like he had done this 100 times. I started to doubt him. Why did he say it was his first time if he looked so good at it? He kept talking. His words sounded smooth, like a salesman trying to sell something. He told stories about other mountains he never climbed before. But the way he said it made me feel uneasy. It was like he was hiding something. Still, I did not want to be rude. We kept going higher. The path got steeper. My legs started to burn a little, but he did not slow down at all. After a long climb, we reached the peak. The view was amazing. You could see green valleys far below. The wind felt cool on my face. We walked to a quiet corner near some big trees. "Let's rest here," he said. "I brought some energy drinks and energy bars. We can share." We sat under a tall tree. The shade felt nice. He opened his bag and gave me a cold drink. It tasted sweet and good. I drank it slowly. He opened an energy bar for himself and offered one to me. I put it in my bag for later. I do not usually eat at those bars, but I did not want to say no. Just then, a group of friends came walking up the same path. There were 5 of them, 3 boys and 2 girls. They looked happy and full of energy. One of them had a camera around his neck. He seemed like a vlogger because he kept looking around and smiling at the view. The leader of the group saw me and called out, "Hey buddy! What are you doing here alone? This place is not safe for being by yourself. It's not a sweet spot to sit alone like this." I smiled and pointed to the man next to me. "I am not alone," I said. "I have a new companion. We met on the trail." The friends looked confused. They stared at me for a moment. Then one of them said, "But you are alone. There is no one with you." I turned my head quickly to the side. The man had disappeared. Just like that. He was gone. No sound, no footsteps. Nothing. My heart jumped. "Where did he go?" I asked, looking around. The trees were still. The path was empty. The group came closer. The leader said gently, "We saw you from down the path. You were talking to yourself. We thought maybe you needed help, so we came up." I could not believe it. "No," I said. "I was talking to him. We drank energy drinks together. He gave me a bar. He was right here." One of the girls smiled kindly. "Maybe the sun is too hot today," she said. But the vlogger in the group stepped forward. He held up his camera. "I recorded you while you were sitting here," he said. "I thought it would be a cool shot for my video. Wanna have a look? You were talking to the air, my friend." He played the video on his small screen. I watched it with wide eyes. There I was, sitting under the tree. I was smiling and talking. My mouth moved. My hands waved like I was chatting with someone. But the seat next to me was empty. No man. No drink in his hand. Just empty air. I looked crazy in the video. My face turned pale. A cold feeling ran down my back. Was my brain playing tricks on me? Did I imagine the whole thing? I thought hard. No, that could not be. I remembered every word he said. I remembered the taste of the drink. And most important, I had the energy bar he gave me. It was still in my bag. That was my proof. My brain could not make a real bar appear out of nowhere. "This is my final test," I whispered to myself. I opened my bag with shaking hands. I pulled out the energy bar. There it was in my palm. But something was wrong. The wrapper was not clean. It was covered in dark red blood. Fresh blood. It looked sticky. My stomach turned. I felt dizzy. I held it up to the group. "Look," I said. "He gave me this. See the blood?" The friends stared at the bar. Their eyes grew big. They looked at me with strange faces. No one spoke for a few seconds. The vlogger stopped smiling. One girl stepped back. The leader said softly, "Buddy, that's weird. Really weird." I did not know what to say. My mind raced. How could the man be real only to me? Why did the group not see him? Why did the camera not catch him? Was he a ghost? A trick of my mind? Or something worse? The blood on the wrapper made it feel dangerous. I threw the bag far away into the bushes. I did not want it near me anymore. My heart beat very fast. It felt like a small attack in my chest. I could not breathe easily. The group stayed with me for a while. They gave me water and walked me down the mountain slowly. They talked to keep me calm. "Maybe you were tired," they said. But I knew what I saw. I knew what I felt. When I reached home, I sat on my bed for a long time. I thought about everything. The polite smile. The pro steps on the trail. The smooth talk. The sudden disappearance. The empty video. And that bloody energy bar. It was real. I touched it. I saw the blood. Since that day, I have never hiked alone. I wait for my girlfriend or call my friends. I still love the mountains. I still love the fresh air and the tall trees. But now I know some things on the trail are not what they seem. Some companions you meet may not be real for everyone. I do not know who that man was or why he chose me. I only know one thing. I will never sit alone under that tree again. Now every time I pack my bag for a hike, I remember that day. I remember the strange look on the friends' faces. I remember throwing the bag away. And I remember the feeling that something invisible walked beside me on the mountain. Hiking is still my favorite thing. But now it comes with a new rule: never go alone. Because you never know who might join you, and who might disappear when others come near.